So, yes, you can begin and just speak very loudly because we'll be able to get everything online. It may be hard for the audience. Thank you. Good evening. I call to order the meeting of our Board of Education, a regular meeting. This is Monday, July 28th, 2025. Mr. Wilcox, could you please lead us in the pledge of allegiance? Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. As we enter into public comment, one note is that as specified in Article 5 of our labor agreement with the teachers union, they have the right to speak on items on the agenda when they request to do so. So the last speaker in our public comment will be the union president, and at that time, the 3-minute limit will not apply. Welcome to the Board of Education regular meeting. Regular meetings are a time for the board to conduct its business. As a Board of Education, we are here to set goals, listen to reports of the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, and personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. The board may hear public participation for up to 60 minutes. Public participation shall be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per speaker. One speaker cannot yield their time to another speaker. There will be no responses this evening to any questions or concerns raised. They will be referred to the administration for review. As adults, we serve as positive role models for students. Please be respectful of people. We ask speakers not to make defamatory comments or use abusive or vulgar language. Dr. White is ready for public comment, and Dr. Woodard. Thank you. And just to let everyone know, we are working to help make sure that people online can hear us and that also we can hear them. The setup is a little different than previous. Our first speaker is Kirsten Holtz McFadden.
Good afternoon. My name is Attorney Kirsten Holtz. I would like to thank Dr. Junior for calling me first because putting on the practice on my life. For those kind words at the last board meeting. It is correct. Our family has known each other in a different some years. I would also like to thank Ms. Downer for back on my name. That was so nice. My topic tonight is social and emotional intelligence for adults. So I'm going to mention 2 breaks from the most of the home models at the last 4 years. No one followers and collaborate. As an attorney, I tend to know about it and go more but I do believe in the collaboration for both. And I will continue to say this. There was going to be engagement, parent engagement, study engagement with regard to the closing of learning bars. we are not going to accept it. I watched the last meeting on YouTube. While Mr. Rice to pat myself in the back, I have done it too. Go verbally to the soul, and I'll hopefully this has been heard by spiritual children. Also, as I looked at the report, I was off to try the numbers. But what I did see was that there were many schools that were listed as outperforming other schools. That could be heard to the schools who weren't listed. Imagine how it feels to be told to get the measure up. Educating children do not get competition. There should not be anything called good schools or bad schools. And to add insult to injury, Mr. Rogers has been closed because it only had 130 students. Almost over one of the grants for 35 students. While I deeply respect Cindy Jackson, I'm having a problem with that. I would have even supported it if we would have eliminated the tens of millions of dollars spent on outside provision behavioral issues. The students with behavioral issues. Many of those students really want back to the district and talk about it, are well qualified special, are well qualified special education students. Many of those students, but instead of very small and consistent amount of students need the education that all students are receiving, all communities is without a school. Finally, I just received a notification that is audit of the students at the institution. But no fraud was detected. The audit found a lack of transparency and oversight. There has been a community call for a similar audit and they said yes, and I support it.
Our next speaker is Michael Williams.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. I have to say because there has been an issue with members getting paid for the arbitration award that we handed out. And some of the members who have resigned did not get paid. Particularly, there is one member who resigned on April 25th, and she had stopped for over 4 years. She was a full-time staff at the school. And then it became so overwhelming, she shared with me that she eventually resigned. And now she's told and given the runaround of not being paid, stating that because she resigned, she's not entitled to it. And she was working all these years. The award was retroactive to July 2020. And she worked in 2023, 2024, and part of 2025. But this is not a negotiated contract that was negotiated and we have decided that only members will get paid. It was the all effort for this award, to pay award, not negotiated award. So I don't see why the board has to meet and protest today is like this matter. The board has spent, which I never knew the amount, which I would really like to know, a lot of money for attorney fees. So why could the attorney got more than it's an award that needs to pay to F1 July 1? So everyone who was on the table, that's and it is appalling that that's not done and then it was the board has to decide. Without the board being properly edified. Take us to I would like to know what our contract is. So thank you very much.
Our next speaker is New Haven Leon. Please state your full name.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm Nancy Han. Good evening, everyone. I'm a rising senior at Wilbercross High School and a student leader at New Haven Climate Movement. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I would like to bring to your attention House Bill 5523, which appropriated $350,000 in funding to the New Haven and Hartford Public School Boards of Education for the purpose of purchasing youth bus passes last school year. Each city received $175,000. In Hartford, this funding was used to purchase bus passes for several high school, and a study was done simultaneously to evaluate the impact of the free bus passes on students' social and academic well-being. This data is essential to an ongoing statewide push for free bus passes for all youth. Olu, who is a student leader from Hartford Public Schools involved in advocating for the bill, is also in attendance tonight and will speak shortly about her positive experience with the free bus pass study. Back here in New Haven, it is my understanding that the Transportation Director, Mrs. Sequelo Coleman, is in charge of implementing the bill. New Haven Climate Movement would like to request a meeting with Ms. Coleman to learn about how the bus passes were purchased, distributed, and tracked, and to talk about any future plans to increase the availability of free bus passes for New Haven high school students, especially in light of a new bill that appropriated $4 million to reduce bus fares for youth by 50%. Furthermore, we would like to request an update from Ms. Coleman on behalf of Clean Transportation Communities of Southern Connecticut about progress towards school bus fleet electrification. At New Haven Climate Movement, we are passionate about free bus passes because we know that giving students access to them will not only reduce chronic absenteeism, strengthen academic performance, and support students involved in extracurricular sports and after-school jobs, but it will also encourage young New Haveners to embrace low carbon transportation options. In a state where the transportation sector contributes nearly a third of all greenhouse gases, we know that by increasing youth awareness of the impact of our transportation choices, whether that be through creating climate art or activating for free bus passes, we are taking a significant step towards healthier, happier communities. We hope that you can support us in this mission. Thank you for your time, and we hope to look forward to hearing from Ms. Coleman. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Natalie. Please state your full name when you come on.
Hi, yes. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Natalie Ellis, and I worked for Roberto Clemente in New Haven Public School, and I wanted to speak on, well, I'm going to touch base on what Heikler spoke on with the retro pay for the Paris. So I'm one of them. I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but I have not received my pay. I was employed when that award was granted to the Paris. And I feel like I'm very disappointed right now because I feel like I'm being penalized because I resigned. and I was employed during the time that the award was granted. So I feel that I know that I'm entitled to the retro pay. I've subbed from, I'm not saying I subbed a day here or a day there. I was a sub from day one to the very last day of school, to where I had to pack up the classrooms. So and I've done it for years. We've in our school we've gone years without a teacher, and I was the one who was controlling the classroom. So I had to become the teacher with no help. So I feel like I know I'm entitled to that pay. I was employed when it was granted. I was there full time. I so happened to have resigned a few days after it was granted, but mind you, I was still there. I was still a full-time employee when it was granted, so I know that I'm entitled to it. So with me leaving a few days after is irrelevant. And for me to have to wait so long, it was granted on July 3rd. Here it is July, it's July 28th. We're going to be hitting August soon, and I've been told that I have to wait for the board to decide what to do. This is like the third meeting or the second meeting since July 3rd, and I still haven't received pay. They can't do anything until they get the go ahead from HR. So I just want to know, what is the holdup? Why am I not getting my retro pay? Because I've been years, and I was that part of the contract, it was awarded. So I feel like I need it to be released ASAP. You know, like after today's board meeting, you can go ahead and give, so HR can give the okay to payroll. Payroll can send me my money. And that will go through soon, sooner than later. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak and express my feelings.
The next speaker is Adrian Huck. Adrian Huck, you may begin.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening, BOE members. My name is Adrian Huck, and I'm a co-founder of the New Haven Climate Movement and a New Haven Public Schools alum. I also lead the Climate Justice Schools Initiative, an NHCM program also funded by the City of New Haven. For the last year and a half, NHCM has been heavily focused on advocating for and promoting alternative transportation methods. We were very excited to hear about the passage of House Bill 5523 in the Connecticut legislature last year, which appropriated $175,000 in funding to New Haven and Hartford Public Schools each during the 2024-2025 school year. Advocates at the organization Transport Hartford negotiated with the state legislature to have Hartford Public Schools share fund 31-day passes for 506 students on an opt-in basis across multiple schools. These passes allowed high school students unlimited free bus rides at any time, not exclusively to get home after a school-sanctioned program. This was highly impactful for students, helping teens get to their jobs, commute to school, attend enriching programming, or meet up with friends. Despite our outreach and research, we have not received clear answers about how that $175,000 was spent in NHPS and the process by which students across all high
Ms.
schools.
Huck, can you pause for a moment, please?
Could you repeat that?
We're asking you to just pause for a moment. You finished? Okay, you can continue. Can't go anywhere. Yeah.
Okay. Background noise. It is imperative that we see the same level of transparency and better promotion of the free bus pass program here in NHPS. As a student commuter who uses CT Transit almost on a daily basis, I understand the realities of getting around to school, work, and other events by bus. From ages 14 to 17, I was privileged to never have to pay out of pocket for bus fare, Several high schools, like my alma mater, Metropolitan Business Academy, provided these 2-hour bus passes to students who stayed after school for clubs, and so did several other programs I was part of that targeted NHBS students. This opportunity allowed me to fully participate in extracurriculars and work. Overall, I want to say that free bus passes are a win for equity and the environment. We would like to request a meeting with Transportation Director Ms. Sakala Coleman to learn more about how these bus passes were purchased, distributed, and tracked. We'd also like to discuss a potential increase in the availability of free bus passes, given the recent bill passage allowing for half-price bus fares for youth. Thank you for your time.
Our next speaker is Oluwase Olodore.
Hello, my name is Oluwase Oluborde, and I'm a rising senior in Hartford Public Schools, here to testify on behalf of the importance of provisions for young people when it comes to public transit access. So, as Adrian and Nancy were able to discussed earlier in their testimonies, House Bill 5523 allocated $175,000 each to Hartford Public Schools and New Haven Public Schools for the purchase of free bus passes. And that program was in place at our school. And so that money was able to support 506 students throughout the school year with 30-day city bus passes. And I want to attest to the importance of legislation and measures that address gaps in transportation access. So, in Hartford Public Schools, for students who live within 5 miles of their school's building, they're not eligible for district funded busing. And so, we have a lot of young people who depend on public transit to attend school and to engage in extracurricular activities or just to get a job and do all these things outside of the school day. For the young people who don't have access to like their own car or private form of transportation, the city bus is how they're able to is their primary form of mobility, and it's the way with which they engage with their community. But when we don't address the barrier of costs when it comes to young people and their access to transportation, we essentially exclude them, and we let these barriers undermine their connection to these important institutions such as education, employment, and just community as a whole. So I'm just here to advocate for measures like this to be expanded statewide because the need for free city bus passes is everywhere. It's just simply not fair that a young person who lives within the 2-mile radius of their school would have to pay the $140 twice a day, 2-3 times a day, just to be able to make it to sports and do the things that their peers are doing who are privileged enough to have access.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Our next speaker is Leslie Plateau.
People at home couldn't hear.
We're gonna have to go to this to an end and call and we're trying our best.
Oh, the recording will work, it's just not Zoom.
Yeah.
Good evening. I was just checking with Dr. Lake, because people at home can't hear us, and we can't hear people on Zoom. But you will be able to hear it on the YouTube recording, just not on the Zoom. So people can go back and watch the YouTube recording for. My name is Leslie Plateau. I'm a New Haven parent, New Haven teacher, and the president of New Haven Federation of Teachers. Thank you, Dr. Yarborough, for naming the contract laws that allow the Federation to speak on agenda items. I'm going to start off with successes and some of the blows, as they say, when it comes to tonight's board agenda. So first and foremost, it is so exciting that 3 of our members, New Haven Federation of Teachers, are being recognized for their excellence and their efforts contributing
to our New Haven Public School community. And I know they're going to be recognized later, but just please know how much your union cares about you and respects you, and how much this whole community does as well. And I'll save the fanfare for the team, but I just wanted to recognize that, say we're also grateful and admire the work that you all do. I also want to highlight 2 items on the agenda that are about extended school hours services and 21st Century Learning Grants. These items and these programs are critical for working families in New Haven, and I think it really shows the values of our city that we prioritize after school programs for our working families and children. And let's look at this in the context of what's going on nationally. 2 weeks ago, when I was at this podium, I talked about the $7 billion that the Trump administration was withholding. And because of public pressure, because of work across this country pushing back on those withheld funds, those funds have been released. And we know that cities like New Haven will benefit from those funds being released. So let's remember the power of the collective and the power of resistance as we continue to fight back against an increasingly authoritarian regime. I also want to highlight New Haven Public Schools collaboration with IRIS. It is now public news that one of our students has been detained by ICE here in New Haven. I'm not breaking that news. That news was made public today. And I think by collaborating with organizations like IRIS and other coalition members of our coalition, this is going to be critically important, because we know that federal ICE agents are going to continue to target our city in larger numbers, continue to target our community, our students, and their families. And when you, as a board, highlight our collaboration with IRIS, that is sending a message that we take care of our community here. So I want to recognize that strength. Similarly, there are items on the agenda tonight about collaboration with mental health professionals and support to get a social work intern program at Metropolitan. I used to work at Metropolitan before I was elected president of the union, and I can speak with fidelity, direct experience, how valuable that program is to quickly meet with students, identify their needs, turn them around, and get them back to class, which is what all of our shared goals are, making sure that students are available and engaged in the learning. So again, I want to highlight the Board of Ed here for investing in these collaborations, which are critically important for, first and foremost, our students' mental health, and then so they can access the academic work that's our charge as New Haven teachers. I also would like to highlight some concerns this evening. So when we look at the personnel report, we see that we are still stuck in a cycle of hires and resignations. Hires and resignations. You know, wondering about the data is, while we have 18 new hires, we have 16 resignations and retirements. So we're netting 2. We can't get out of the zone of not being fully staffed. We are stuck in that zone, and we don't have a recruitment problem. We have a retention problem. So, I want to get into the why of that. Is it because of salaries? And I want to highlight that people new to the district are making significantly more than people who have dedicated years of service to our city. Now, that is the way that the contract was negotiated. I'm not disputing that. However, I do want to highlight that NHFC brought forth a proposal to management several months ago to address this in the name of retention and save the city money at the same time, which would cap new hire salaries at the equivalent of what they would make if they had started their career with us, and the district rejected that proposal. So the NHFC is very much on board with you all in trying to save every penny. And it was frustrating that that opportunity to save was disregarded, and we were not able to move forward with a solution that would honor people who have dedicated their lives to this city, while at the same time offering competitive salaries to new hires. Another question about why we have a retention problem is it because of our facilities. Another item on the agenda highlights that we have a contract with Tucker because 11 of our schools still don't have functioning AC. So I'm glad we have the contract with Tucker. However, we know the stress, the uncertainty, the disruptions that happen when AC breaks. And we know it interrupts the core central work of students and teachers, which is academic learning, that is central to why we're all here. Also, there's an award for mold and asbestos services. That's good, and it highlights we are still dealing with mold in our buildings, and we need to get out from the reactive and back to the preventative so that our buildings can be safe, welcoming, and well-maintained for everyone who comes into them. I'd also like to answer the question, are we having a retention problem because we have an increasing amount of itinerants in our district? It is becoming increasingly common for New Haven Public Schools to hire new people and put them into itinerant roles, which means they're not assigned to a building. They can be moved based on the needs of the district and kind of creates a separate job class for those people. And I think we all can agree, people apply to work in New Haven and want to work in New Haven because they want to be connected to a community and a school in New Haven. Are we having a retention crisis because we still lack transparency when it comes to the Board of Ed budget? As of this afternoon, there was still not a 25-26 budget posted on the district website. And our district is spending precious dollars, close to $150,000 of capital funds on short-term fixes. So we can all agree in this room, we need a chiller in John C. Daniels. And yes, okay, that's on the board agenda. However, it's a short-term fix of precious funds rather than a long-term fix that's going to ensure we can keep our teachers because they're working in buildings that are safe, welcoming, and well-maintained. I also want to highlight 3 items on the agenda, and that, philosophically, they raise a question for us about the purpose of school and what we are doing as the human beings and who lead our school. So we have a proposal for an agreement with Securely, which will provide a monitoring system for students who are doing their work online in classroom. And I'll be real, many of my members value this program because it supports them as they're monitoring students online. But again, if we are in person, what can we do to make more of our learning engaging, relevant, and hands-on for our learners, and avoid having to invest in these surveillance systems? There's also similarly a purchase order for your approval that also is about surveilling and documenting behavior. And again, I know that people in this room use that system, but it begs the question, when and how can we shift to more human-centered systems? One more piece on this topic with respect to the AI policy. And first I want to recognize Ms. Red-Hannons, because there has been real collaboration between central office and teachers when it comes to the development of the AI policy. That has been because Ms. Red-Hannons valued the voice of teachers at the table. She made the table bigger for more teachers to join. And our own Sonia Collier from Co-op, who's just down in DC at an AI symposium to sharpen her ideas and bring them back to the team. So that is all a good thing. And we can't put our heads in the sand about the reality of AI. But I also, as a mother who wants to leave a planet where people can survive on it, and as a supporter of racial and climate justice, I'd be remiss if I didn't highlight the reality of environmental racism and the impact that data centers for AI have on neighborhoods where Black, brown, and working class people live. How can we bring restraint to AI, to our work with AI? I'm not saying pretend it doesn't exist. We will use it sometimes, but how can we bring restraint before we default to AI to edit our work, to revise our work, to tell us what to do next? Can we remember our own agency? Can we remember the brilliance of our children and pause and work through discomfort? Because the only way we learn is through working through discomfort, and then model that for our students and our colleagues. Because research is emerging the negative impact of ChatGPT on students' academic outcomes, on their resilience, and on their ability to retain information. So it's two things can be true. We have to do AI work, and we can model restraint with these kinds of programs. And I'll end where I began, coming back to strengths. So I highlighted concerns about over-reliance on computers and surveillance programs, about short-term fixes, about the tech staff from buildings, from our community schools. And I think those are not the solution to creating human-centered schools. We have incredible teachers and educators and leaders in this city. And I think when we think about solutions, we want to think about paying parents a living wage. We want to raise the wages for starting teachers. Senator Markley and Senator Sanders in DC just proposed starting salary at the federal level, $60,000 for teachers, $45,000 for parents. Let's work with them to make that a reality in New Haven and beyond. We want to work in a city where all educators are assigned to a school when they are hired, so they belong to that school community. So students and families know they're a part of that community. And we recognize that staffing and enrollment needs might require a change, but there's involuntary transfer language in our contract to address that. And lastly, let's continue to work with the community, invest in relationships so that we can make sure our schools are safe, welcoming, engaging, and relevant, fully funded and fully staffed. And in closing, our community will be rallying tomorrow evening at Scantlebury Park at 5:30 with New Haven Rising to call on the state of Connecticut and Yale University to prioritize working families over billionaires and make sure that our schools can have the resources that we know they, and to make sure that we can continue to protect our democracy and create a Trump-proof budget, because we know the attacks are going to continue. And in closing, I again will ask the board to remove the Democratic limiting rule of 60-minute public comment. I recognize we all want to speak tonight because it's very hot, but at some point we might have more than 60 minutes of public comment. In the name of democracy, I invite you all to consider removing that rule that is only specific to the Board of Education. Thank you for the time. Congratulations to our members who represent us so well. I'm looking forward to celebrating you tonight. Thank you.
Next on our agenda are the action items. First is the approval of the special meeting minutes of July 1st, 2025. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. Dr. Joyner? Yes. Mr. Wilcox? Yes. Dr. Benitez is not here. Ms. Downer is joining online. Mr. Juarez? Yes. Daly? Yeah. Matt Elicker? Yes. Donna Jeff as well. That motion carries. Next is the approval of the minutes of July 14th, 2025. Mr. Chair, I move to approve July. I second the motion. Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, Dr. Joyner? Yes. Mr. Juarez? Yes. Mr. Wilcox? Yes. Ms. Donna's contact for you? Okay. Daly? Yes. Mayor Elicker? Yes. I'm a yes as well. That motion carries. Next is the approval of the property damage release 818381 for Conti West Hill. Attorney Alexiadis, will you please present this? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, and members of the board. Tonight, we ask your approval, of the review document, so we may collect, the insurance proceeds, to reimburse the districts for the cost. That we did for one again, in the school. And some people may recall, and then we say, the last time the water version, we were listening while the roof was under repair and purchase. Contractors will need to be responsible, and then the insurance company or one of the subcontractors coming to spend on vehicles. The total is $104,000. In the replacement cost, and that's been down, you go down to $5,800 for non-recoverable depreciation. For the total recovery, staff, with finance staff, fully staffed for the year, the firms, recommendations to the executive. And with the other, that, certainly worth the signing it.
Thank you, Attorney Alexiadis. Is there a motion? Mr. Wilcox?
Yes, I move to approve the property damage release or 1A381.
Thank you. Is there a second? I second. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. Mr. Wilcox?
Yes.
Dr. Joyner?
Yes.
Mr. Waters?
Yes.
Mr. Ailing?
Yes.
Mayor Elicker?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. That motion carries. Thank you, Attorney Alexiadis.
No.
Next on the agenda is the personnel report. Dr. McGraw.
Thank you, President Darrow. Since we last met, we did have a few of further, you can do one of knowledge. Meeting celebrating on pizza, 2030th, 7 to 29 years. Ross and Raymond, associates in pizza, and I started this with your value. Those who are this for the evening pizza, they are joiner, and you part of a lot of fun. Anything here?
Joyner?
Mr. Chair,
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. Thank you. Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? We certainly celebrate and appreciate our retirees. We'll vote. Dr. Joyner?
Yes.
Mr. Wilcox? Yes. Mr. Waters?
Yes.
Mr. Ailing?
Yes.
Mayor Elicker?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. That motion carries. Dr. Monroe?
Thank you again, President Deborah. Thank you for allowing me to take this moment to acknowledge for 3 amazing teachers who have been selected as our finalists to represent the Teacher of the Year in New Haven Public School. I do want to take a moment to highlight each of them individually And then I'm going to be asking for Lisa Fletcher and Wanda Hooker from our community department, to come up and, share some, our stuff. So first, I present you Lauren Fox. Lauren is walking up now. Yeah, Lauren is been here for a minute. Lauren is a teacher with 15 years of experience in the education field. Some words to describe her include dedicated, passionate, and committed to creating supportive, engaging, and growth-centered classroom environment. Lauren joined the district in 2014 as a special education teacher on West Rock Auburn Academy, later known as West Rock Spring Academy, where she is proud to be part of a turnaround team that moved the school from Category 5 to Category 7 in this year. The experience of working alongside a dedicated staff with a strong emphasis in social emotional learning, trauma-informed practices, and a growth mindset profoundly shaped her approach to teaching. After 6 years in special education, Lauren transitioned into general education, where he taught fourth grade students. Since joining the Western Community School in 2021, she has continued her involvement in efforts while embracing professional development opportunities that enhance her passion for learning about and implementing best practices. In her classroom, Lauren strives to create a safe and welcoming space where her students are encouraged to take risks, meet high expectations, and experience meaningful success. Outside of school, she enjoys spending quality time with her husband and their 2-year-old son, Elton, who is with us today, who is full of energy and keeps waiting over there. Extra happy for mommy. His curiosity and perseverance remind her here that learning will always be joyful, hands-on, and full of wonder. He inspires her daily to be present for her kids and instill his positive attitude in them. Congratulations again, Lauren Foss, one of our teacher finalists of the year. Next, I would like to present you Christina Martino. Christina is a first-time teacher at Union School in the New England Public Schools. Over the course of 21-year tenure in the New England Public School, she has taught a variety of grades, including first, second, third, and fourth. Teaching has always been her passion. It is evident every day that she finds the opportunity to instill a wide range of skills in her students, from academics to social development. When you visit Christina's classroom, you will appreciate the care she provides. She creates a classroom environment that is inclusive, welcoming, and provides a sense of safety and comfort for all students. Christina understands the importance of building strong relationships, not only with her students, but also with her family. Developing these connections fosters a sense of belonging and teamwork that ultimately benefits children in countless ways. In these relationships, she is better able to understand and support each student's unique learning style. Christina believes every child learns best when supported by the right combination caring adults, effective instructional strategies, and a nurturing toxic environment. Christina strives to create that balance so every class of student she is entrusted with. Anyone who walks into a classroom will see a positive, engaging space filled with conversation, collaboration, hands-on learning, and play. Christina states, "It has been an honor to bring my dedication and compassion to the hundreds of students I've taught. I look forward to many more years in the New Haven Public Schools. Congratulations." And last but not least, I also want to present you Shirley Gonzalez. Shirley Gonzalez is a Spanish teacher at Worthington Hooker School. She holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in English Literature from Pace University and an MBA from Fordham University's Graduate School of Business. She has been a teacher in the district since 2014 and at Worthington Hooker since 2017. Shirley is a member of the Connecticut Council of Language Teachers and currently serves as a restorative practice mentor at her school, utilizing restorative circles to foster a sense of community among teachers and staff and students. Shirley is a strong advocate for equitable access to learning for all. If you visit her class, it is evident that she strives to create a teacher classroom environment where all students feel welcome to participate. By employing a holistic, compassionate approach for teaching that considers the unique traits and diverse learning abilities of each student, she enables all students to feel successful, reflected, and goals of others. Shirley's mission is to provide the students with tailored opportunities to engage with the curriculum and the surrounding community. Shirley consistently expresses her gratitude for being a member of an amazing school district and takes her position and responsibility seriously. As an educator, she said, "I must advocate for my students' needs, both in and out of the classroom, and serve as a champion for equality, academic excellence, continuous improvement, recognizing that my teaching makes a positive influence future generations." Congratulations again. Again, those were our three finals. And now we're going to have Lisa Fedler.
Mic on. Turn the mic on.
Good evening, everyone. First, I want everyone to give them a great round of applause to our finalists, our three finalists. Yeah. Thank you. So this is no easy task. In the beginning, we have three great, amazing teachers here in New Haven Public Schools, along with so many more. And so it is our pleasure to announce the New Haven Public Schools Teacher of the Year. It's Miss Shirley Gonzalez. All the finalists, like we'll take a picture. Leslie, if you don't mind coming up too and take a picture with the finalists and the winners. So congratulations. I want to give Ms. Gonzalez the opportunity to say a few words. Congratulations. Yes, no fun.
Thank you all. It is an incredible honor to be nominated Teacher of the Year. I teach in a district that has an amazing talent pool. And if you have any doubts, just ask the neighboring school districts that are poaching our teachers. We have such wonderful, highly trained, artistic, energetic, passionate teachers. And I just want to congratulate Lauren and Christina as well. I want to thank Dr. Negron, Mayor Elicker, Leslie, Mrs. Gethings, my principal, and my amazing 7-8 team, Mr. Jones, Ms. Bean, Mr. Short. And I want to thank my family for always supporting my endeavors and for being there at night when I get home to tell them stories of all the countless things that went on in my classroom. And I'm just really blessed and incredibly honored and humbled. So thank you so much.
All right, can you hear us? Maybe over here on my end. Ms. Downer, we're taking a picture now, so smile at the camera. They're taking a picture with the teacher of the year. Thank you. I'm all set, thank you.
That does complete my personal report.
Thank you very much. Next, action items. The Finance and Operations Committee, Mr. Wilcox. Thank you. Before I begin, is there anything anyone would like to move separately? There is nothing. I will go ahead and make the motion. I move that we approve the 3 abstracts, the 1 MOU, 10 agreement, 1 amendment, 3 purchase orders, and 3 contracts. And second. Thank you. That's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. Mr. Wilcox? Yes. Mayor Elicker? Yes. Dr. Joyner? Yes. Ms. Downer?
Yes. Can you hear me?
She said yes.
It's bad. The sound is bad. Thanks.
Tawana? Yes. Ms. Allen? Yes. I'm a yes as well. That motion carries. Thank you. Next, student report.
So as mentioned 2 weeks ago, the last board meeting, the river event actually went very well. We had approximately over 100, maybe 150 around that benchmark, where we have donated clothes. Most of the clothes that have been donating are gone. There's still some left. And I also want to talk to the public about something regarding AI problem that is going on. So, in the presence of an AI checker, most of the time it will be inaccurate. Most if it's plainly copy and paste, sure, but if it's written and then make it your own words and that sort, it won't be hidden. But there's no definite AI checker. Some people who write well without AI still get flagged, no matter what. So I just want to touch base on that. And since AI is never going to go away, it's going to be increasing, we should at least teach the students on how to use it viably, then making that a consequence, because it will be used. Even if you try to lock it down, there are many other models to use. And lastly, as the mission statement that I said before 2 weeks ago, right now I'll be working with central office to hopefully bring more programs to the district, enrich programs, one that get you job placements, hopefully, because most of the time, if you're graduating from high school, you get into college and you see how much you owe, you're definitely going to need a job. And so securing that by adding programs that either have on-job training or certifications, that sort of thing, will alleviate that. And lastly, I want to thank the people from New Haven Climate Movement for being on Zoom in regards to the bus pass situation, which I do encourage for it to happen. As many programs, as I said before, are currently happening, you will need transportation. And how are you going to get that transportation? Because I'm pretty sure no one is going to be paying $500 a day for a bus and people don't arrive. So you might as well rely on public transportation, which is less cost and more easily accessed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any discussion? Thank you for your report. Superintendent's report, Dr. McGrone.
Thank you. Again, I do have 2 reports today. Superintendent Mechanics will be helping me with those. He comes up to the podium. I do want to thank our summer program lead, Jennifer Kay, Jennifer Kuzami, Kimberly Phillips, Tracy Philpott, Dina Natalino, Rosalind Diaz-Ortiz, Dr. Joseph Lumpkin, Dr. Robert Rivas, and of course, Keisha Red-Hammonds, for the oversight of our summer learning experience. Today, we want to take an opportunity to review and end the program report. It literally just ended, so the data is right off the press, as they say. Is also to extend an invitation to our summer graduation, which is happening tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock at the Metropolitan Business Academy. So with that, I believe Assistant Superintendent Red-Hammonds is ready to go. And we're gonna walk you again through what exactly happened during the summer learning program this year in our district.
Good evening. Thank you once again for the opportunity to come before the board. As Dr. McGrone stated, our summer program just ended for most of our programs on Friday, and our high school program will end tomorrow. If we can go to the next slide, Dr. White. So our summer learning program consisted of our summer learning plan consisted of 6 different programs impacting our students in K through 3, a special program for students in 6-8, targeting students who have had trouble coming to school consistently, and we felt that needed an opportunity to reconnect with staff in a less stressful manner than the regular school year. Note that program targeted students in grades 6-8. Our extended school year program, which is a program that is required for students that have individualized educational plans, that's part of their plan. Our English Learners Academy for students in grades 9-12. Our high school credit recovery program, which allows students to earn high school credit over the summer, and our dual credit programs as well. And so all 6 of those programs consist of our overall plan. They're part of our overall plan to provide a focused, coherent, and high-quality summer learning plan to advance learning. As Dr. Negron stated, we have several program leads throughout the summer learning plan. Dr. White, if you can go to the next slide. And all of those leads, as Dr. Negron acknowledged them, please know that this team of folks have been working since January to put together our summer learning plan. So it takes time to really put all the elements together in order to see the plan that you have in front of you. And trust me, even though you have the program leads listed, there are still other folks that are also working to make it happen. And we're definitely thankful to all of our program leads, but our building leaders and our curriculum leads as well. The academic team plays a strong role as well in building out our summer programs. So our K-3 program, our Summer Learning Academy, next slide, Dr. White. This whole program is focused on providing a joyful experience for our students to spark curiosity and reinforce foundational skills. What we did that was unique about this program in the past, recognizing what our budget constraints are, we actually hired our own physical ed teachers, our own art teachers, drama and dance and theater. And so although that cut out some partnerships that we've traditionally had over time, the feedback was overwhelmingly positive to utilize our own teachers in the program. And so that is something that we will do as we move forward. Students really enjoyed those experiences. And over the last week and a half, there were several celebrations at our K-3 sites as well. We were able to service 6 schools, 579 students total in our K-3 program. In our extended school year program, our ESY program was located in 4 different schools with over 334 students served. Our students experience activities in reading, writing, math, daily living, and transitional skills as well. And this is K-12 for our students in K-12. Our strength and self-efficacy based student support program, this is all about reconnecting. That is the focus of this program. Let's reconnect with our youth. Let's ensure that they have a trusted youth that they can go throughout the school year. And it is our plan to continue those connections with the staff that they made over the summer. We had one school, we housed our program in one school, and they were able to service 93 students. And they experienced graphic arts, social justice, sports and recreation, a few culinary lessons and spoken word. We also were able to have a field trip to the Maritime Center. Our high school English Learners Academy, this program is designed for newly arrived students into our country to help them improve their English language skills, but also provide them with an opportunity to get acclimated to the American K-12 educational system. So this program is vitally important. We held it at one school, and there were 31 newcomers served throughout the summer. And as stated, we focus on literacy, art, business. We provide field trips as well, and SEL connections. Our high school credit recovery program. This program was housed at 3 different schools, Hillhouse, MBA, and it says Wilbur Cross, but it was actually housed at New Haven Academy because, as many of you may know, over the summer, we actually shut Wilbur Cross down so that there could be a deep cleaning at Wilbur Cross this summer. And so in our program total, we were able to service 750 students in our high school credit recovery program. Students are able to earn 2 credits. It is staffed by certified teachers, and the curriculum is aligned to our district standards. This program is vitally important because it helps students get back on track so that they can graduate within 4 years. And as you see, at each individual school at MBA, the MBA program actually has students from all across the district that do not attend Hillhouse and Wilbur Cross. Hillhouse and Cross run their own programs, and MBA takes in all the other high school students. Now, there are times when Hillhouse or Cross will take students from other schools if there's a teacher teaching a particular subject area and we were not able to find a teacher at another school. So for example, we needed an extra English 3 course. And so students from Metro went to Hillhouse this year and was able to take courses there. So we try to find efficiencies where we can when it comes down to staffing for summer school as well. And you see different program highlights for Wilbur Cross, the Sanctuary Kitchen, no surprise, of course. They partnered with us to build economic opportunity and intercultural understanding through food. And I say no surprise because we know Chef Bradshaw is over at Wilbur Cross. IKEA, and we also had a New York City excursion. Some of our partners for MBA included Teach for America, Job Corps, the Armed Forces as well. So during lunchtime, we'll tend to bring in different partners to talk to our students about opportunities after high school as well. Our program highlights for Hillhouse. Hillhouse, you'll notice that we had over 15 students receive at least 10 hours of community service. So part of our graduation requirements is for our students to earn community service hours. So where we can find opportunities to embed that either throughout the day or after school, we do that for our students as well as part of the credit recovery. And Yale New Haven Hospital is a vital partner at Hillhouse. Our dual credit program. And so as you've heard often around our dual enrollment and our opportunities for students, they continue throughout the summer. This summer, we were proud able to enroll 120 students across multiple programs and sites. And the programs are listed below. I'll highlight our Shaper program at Yale. Shaper program has been around for a long time. We were able to have 2 students pay for 2 courses plus room and board for 5 weeks for some students. We also have the SESU Career Theater, Journalism, and Digital Photography, our Summer Business Academy, Summer Future Educators Academy, Biotech Bootcamp, SESU college courses on campus, our CNA program, and our Start Talk Summer Chinese Immersion program. So we have had a very, very busy summer in order to provide opportunities, but be fiscally responsible. I'll end with letting you know one of the tasks Dr. Negro tasked me with this summer was to be able to provide a robust program, but ensure that we keep some of our schools closed. And this is the first summer that we were able to 21 schools offline, including Wilbur Cross, which is critically important and vital as we look at the operational side of the district to be able to ensure that our schools are up and ready for the upcoming academic year. And we'll continue on that path of ensuring that we provide robust programming, but also keep in mind the operational side of of the House as well. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Ms. Brennan, any discussion?
I would like to say an update about the current name program. And the first time ever in Stella Academy's history, we as students were the first ones to get over 90% as a final grade. Stella Academy. That's it.
Excellent. Congratulations. Mr. Wilcox.
Yeah, I'll be very brief and say that, thank you for the presentation. It was great to hear about these successes and also the creative thinking that goes into keeping the buildings offline, with the possibility of deep cleaning as well as potential cost savings, energy costs, and so on. I think that the creativity is in phase of our budgeting. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilcox. Also just wanted to appreciate the financial responsibility paired with still providing robust programming and opportunities for our students. Sometimes learning loss in the summer is a big thing and lack of motivation in coming back to school. And I appreciate and just for a note and acknowledge the opportunity this creates to keep momentum going and even to raise it as students come into the new year. And as well, thank you for your note on hiring our teachers to do some of the instruction and just the positive feedback that gave that was wonderful. Thank you.
Good. This is President Hannah for you. Because now for the second update, I do want to share with you the draft of the artificial intelligence policy. As we know, AI is all around us. And like with any other telecom technology, it is very important that we have the policies to inform purpose and sort of guidelines, permitted uses, and of course oversight. So I want to thank the committee of teachers, principals, and central office staff for the development of this draft that you're going to be hearing about today. And again, this was another task that I had given Assistant Superintendent Martinez, and in a matter of months, she had more planning to come forward. So again, today we're bringing you the first draft, but we wanted to take an opportunity to walk you through the process as well. And with that, I'll turn it over to Assistant Superintendent Brett Hannons.
I have to admit, I get excited when folks talk about artificial intelligence and AI because it's here. It's here. We have to embrace it, the opportunity for our staff and our students. And I'll walk you through the policy, but I'll spend some time on how we develop the policy, because I think that's critically important as AI is such a hot topic in many educational circles across the nation and the world. And so as we look at our path to excellence, AI really ties into our priority around teaching and learning, but it also ties into operational efficiency. And you'll hear more about how I believe it can make us more efficient as adults working in the district. So our policy committee, I just want to shout them out. Our first meeting was on April 30th. As Dr. Negrón said, we were sitting at a conference in March, and we were just talking about it and, just dove right in and said, all right, we're going to do it, Doc. And our first meeting was on April 3rd, and this core group of staff that you see before you, teachers, administrators, central office administrators, our IT department, they were with me every step of the way. And in the group, There were some that felt we don't need to use AI at all, and some that was willing to jump in, varying levels of knowledge of AI, but all were committed. And as our president of the New Haven Federation of Teachers stated, all recognize it's here. As our student board member said, it's here, and we have to address it. So I just want to shout out the committee, because the committee was awesome. And if it wasn't the summertime, they would be here with me. I would have invited all of them to come, but trust me, they put in a lot of work, and we know we still have a lot of work ahead of us. So our action plan, I think you all know by now, I'll put an action plan together and folks will be like, are you serious? Yes. And we're going to get it done, and we're going to get it done together. So as stated, our first meeting was April 3rd. We held a series of meetings as we convened the AI committee. We had to conduct research on sample K-12 policy. Believe it or not, there are policies out there, but they're very loose. And we looked at even our K policy as well to see what guidance can we receive as we look at sample policies, and we were pulling information. I'm excited that President Blateau said that one of the committee members, Ms. Collier, was in an AI session during their most recent NHFT convening, because I know that's knowledge that's going to come back to the district. So that's awesome. We also presented a draft AI policy once we felt comfortable to the Office of Academics, because we wanted to make sure the Office of Academics felt comfortable looking at it from the lens of their particular content area and how AI can be leveraged. And so they provided us with feedback. We presented a draft policy to the SAA and the NHFT. So one of the things about this committee, when we started the committee, I immediately contacted both presidents and asked them to send me members that they thought would like to be or would like to engage in on the AI committee. And I also selected some members myself, but we wanted to bring it back to the unions for them to vet the policy as well and get feedback. From that, they gave us their feedback, and then we presented the draft AI policy to administrators at our end of the year convening. Our administrators, it was a great activity. We worked for about an hour. Some administrators have never used AI at all, never used chat, they never used Gemini. And there were others that were a bit more experienced and have used it in some communications such as email. And so that was a good conversation. Then we presented on June 18th, the policy to the Teaching and Learning Committee for vetting by Dr. Joyner, Dr. Benitez, to look at the policy and give us any feedback or questions. Most recently, the policy went before the Governance Committee on June 25th, July 25th. I have mosquitoes all over the place, so I apologize. July 25th, the policy went before the Governance Committee, and now it's coming before you this evening as a first reading of the policy. So a lot of work went into developing the policy, vetting the policy, putting it back and forth. And so now I will go over the different components of the policy and a high level, I know you've received it. So section 1 of our policy talks about the purpose and commitment. Up front, we're aligning any tool, anything that we utilize at NHPS to our portrait of a graduate, because that's what anchors us at NHPS. And then you'll also see that AI serves as a tool to support learning, but it will never replace the essential human capacities, critical thinking, creativity, communication, empathy, and resilience that defines our graduates. And we felt it was upfront to talk about the human touch upfront, because that's always a concern, right? I think President Blateau talked about a human-centered approach. And this is where we want to uplift that we're constantly talking about the human touch, and AI is just an instructional tool, nothing more than that. AI can learn from data and improve over time. We know it. As you continue to talk to AI, it improves over time and gets to know your voice, and the algorithms become more like you. So we know it can be in the form of software or physical machines. AI can generate new and original content, such as text, images, videos, code, music, data, and other content. However, it's crucial to ensure that AI, when used by students and staff, is used responsibly in the school environment, avoiding plagiarism, propagation of misinformation, bias, or harmful content. And we need to say that upfront, right? Because we recognize there are biases within AI. As we look at the general guidelines for AI use, ethical responsibility, privacy and security, upfront, we're talking about adhering to educational rights in the Privacy Act, FERPA, COPA, and ADA, because that's critically important that we make sure whatever AI tool we utilize, that it's in alignment with our privacy and security guidelines. We know the general guidelines that we still want to promote critical thinking. We have to ensure that there's equitable access. So if a teacher is saying that all of her students can use AI, they need to make sure that all students have access to the tool and not just some. Digital literacy and informed use, as well as accountability. Accept responsibility for decisions influenced and supported by AI. We should challenge what we see AI generating, not just take it at value, and know that if we do take it at value without questioning it, it may very well be flawed, just like with any other research you may do as well. Staff use of AI. The reason why we knew we needed to put a policy together is because we knew our staff was already using it. And inadvertently, the staff may be using tools that's collecting data on our students. And we know we need to protect their privacy rights. We don't believe our staff is using it in such a way intentionally, but unintentionally on the background. We know AI is constantly collecting data. And so we know we needed to put guidelines to say, hey, you can use AI, but we're going to do it within guidance within NHPS, right? So staff may leverage district-approved AI tools for instructional and administrative enhancement while maintaining the educator's central role in the process. So I have a student board member has his hand up. I don't know how you'll want it.
I just would like to add about specifically ChatGPT itself. In their terms, and it is dangerous, but in their terms, it says that they can use whatever data was used and be used against you.
And thank you for that. And that's why we want to make sure it's a district-approved AI tool. So we also want to give staff permission to say it's okay to use as well. And here are some ways where the operational efficiencies come into play. If you want to use it for lesson plan, if you want to use it for research and content creation as a communication tool for a newsletter or email, that is perfectly fine. Feedback, you can actually use it for feedback as well. Instructional practices, if you want to create assignments and challenge students to integrate AI, that's appropriate as well. Keeping in mind that we want to make sure there's equitable access for all students in the classroom. You can use it to help scaffold lessons as well. And you see another comment on equity, access, and collaboration. So we wanted to provide guidelines for staff so that they know it is okay, as long as you're using district-approved AI tools, and IT is working on that, then it's appropriate, and here are some appropriate usage for it. Because we want to look at how do we save teachers time? How do we save teachers time? Leslie, President Blackstone talked about retention. I think this should be part of our retention toolkit. When you can go on and put in a lesson plan or a unit plan for the week and ask it to generate questions for you on multiple levels for students, this is how we address retention. We've heard stories of teachers talking about utilizing AI to help prevent teacher burnout, as well as keeping them in the educational field. This is how we have to lean into AI in our district. And I truly believe it is possible as we learn more and more about the tools that are out there and how we can leverage them. So student use of AI. We also know we have students using AI, as our student board member stated, right? And so we want to say, it's okay if you're using it, but please understand, you only can use it under teacher guidance. The teacher still is in charge of their classroom. So if a teacher says it's okay to use it, then it's appropriate, right? And if you use it at any time, you need to disclose that you have used AI to assist you in whatever assignment that you may have. Because we want to keep in mind academic integrity and make sure that we're aligning to our ethical standards as well, right? AI is used as a tool to support, but not substitute the actual classroom teacher or critical thinking skills and sustained effort. So some sample permitted uses for students, right? It can be used as academic support to give feedback. I've used it, I've had to give speeches. I put the speech in, hey, give me feedback. Am I hitting my critical point, right? AI has given me great feedback on that. Research assistants. My own son, I shared with the administrators. I saw him download ChatGPT. I got Family Link on my phone. I went home. I said, Cam, why'd you download ChatGPT? At that time, he was 11. He said, Mom, I was looking up animals. I was doing some research on animals. And I had to pause and say, makes sense. You want to be a veterinarian. He's using ChatGPT as a tool like you would use the internet, because that's how our kids are thinking. And that's appropriate for him to use. So I didn't take it away, just so you know. Creating projects. It can give a jump start. It helps you with brainstorming sometimes, that you're not starting at home base. Maybe you're starting at first base, but you still need to continue to ask questions. You still need to have that on back and forth conversation. And it still needs to be under teacher guidance at the end of the day. It could be a study assistance or help with project management. How can I create a timeline to create this to finish this project, my capstone project, right? I have until the end of the year. We can use it for project management purposes as well. Students will learn how to responsibly use AI. So if I'm a teacher in a classroom and I say, I want you to use AI, it is expected that the teacher then shows students how to use AI in this classroom responsibly. Of course, we talk about academic integrity as well as prohibited uses, right? Academic integrity, right? It's the commitment to honesty, fairness, truth, to be trust, respect, responsibility, and courage, right? That's just simply disclosing that you have disclosed it, just like you would if you went and conducted research and you went into a library. I know most people don't do that nowadays, but if you picked out a book and conducted some research, you have to cite your sources. And so you would need to cite AI as well. Keep it in mind, prohibited uses for any discriminatory content. Anything comes along that you see that's discriminatory in nature, flag it for your teachers, flag it for your administration so that we can be made aware of it, right? And you only can use approved tools. So whatever the district says are approved tools. This part, I think, is probably one of the most important components of the policy is the legal and ethical compliance. I talked about adherence to FERPA, COPA, and ADA, and other relevant regulations earlier. We wanted to be explicit again so that folks understood how we expect AI to be leveraged. AI platforms must adhere to all federal, state, local laws regarding data privacy, accessibility, and educational tech standards. We have another section explicitly on data privacy and security, and then educational value as well, right? So AI must not create or reinforce inequities. That's where we're talking about equitable access as well, right? We don't want biases based on SES or disability or language proficiency or language therapy. And the committee felt we needed a strong statement. Finally, this work will not end with this policy. So the work will not end with this policy. Our technology is evolving, AI is evolving. And so we have a commitment that as we move forward, where we will have an AI committee of staff, students, parents, and community members to guide the integration of AI in NHPS. And we will continue to have this committee meeting throughout the year. You'll hear a little bit more about other task forces as well. We truly believe through collaboration and thoughtful review, the AI committee will help create a future-ready learning environment that empowers both students and educators. And you can see some of the sources, the sources cited that we use to pull information for this particular policy. Finally, our next step, of course, the recommendation is coming for you today through your first reading for approval to the Board of Ed. As I stated, there will be subcommittees, calling them task forces. There's a policy and ethics, that's the main committee. But teaching and learning, student and digital citizenship, operations, infrastructure and procurement, communication and stakeholder engagement. President Blateau mentioned initially when I sent the policy to her, she came back with a list of questions and I responded to her and we had a conversation. And immediately she said, "You're sounding just like our AFT Connecticut representative." She said, "Would you mind me connecting the two of you?" Absolutely not. We held a meeting and now AFT Connecticut is partnering with us to deliver professional learning to our teachers and our administrators over the next year. We also have Google as a partner, and they will also be delivering professional learning to our teachers as well, because we do believe we need to train our educators in how to use AI responsibly in order for it to trickle down to our students. And I will utilize the Google GSB Educational Innovation Fellowship that I have to learn more about AI integration in the K-12 setting. As you can see, I've already leveraged it and leaned into Google partnering with us already in the district. But we are excited about where we can go with AI and how it can improve teaching and learning across. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Redham. Any discussion? Mr. Wilcox? I'll be very brief. I just want to say thank you for this presentation. Extremely thorough. I'm involved in a lot of AI-related educational initiatives, things that give us through our work. You all get all the things that we're also looking at and already thinking about developing policy around. And so very thorough first steps. And and other discussion. I appreciate you outlining the process. In addition to having a draftable policy to present, all the conversation and collaboration that happened to vet the idea and to come to the table and put something together and go through various iterations. So thank you for one, conducting it, and two, including that in your presentation for how this policy came together. I think that's very important to know the stakeholders, the collaboration, and bringing everyone to the same page and having all the different stakeholders involved. So thank you. Thank you. Other discussion? Mr. Waters?
Yes, I'll just echo the thanks that have been expressed already. It's apparent that there's been a lot of thoughtful discourse in putting this together. And again, bringing together so many different, stakeholders together is terrific. It's a wonderful, start. And, I look forward to hearing more about, how not only this policy develops, but, how the committee continues and changes these policies.
Ms. Daly?
I, this company with all the water, God, we should have us.
You said it's involved within tech. Oh, and on different topic. Yeah. So what, okay. Not really. So highlighted the phone policy, but I'm like, there too. Some programs offer students, review, but in the draft itself, it says, can offer you also. Sorry, that's something we can talk about.
What I would say is that's why we harp on equitable access. Because we want to make sure if we leverage AI in the classroom, if the teacher says that a student can use AI as a tool to assist them in the classroom, that all students have access. So we don't want you to rely on yourself for that. We need to be providing the equipment and the app on the equipment that will allow you to use it. So if that's where you see the equitable access.
Are you able to do the in regular class session?
If the teacher is allowing students to leverage AI.
Not AI, like the app.
Have to get that.
On that. Thank you. So you brought up the interaction with you and your son. I'm wondering if the committee began a conversation on engaging parents and families with how to navigate the use of AI in education with their children.
So part of that work will be through the subcommittees, the task forces. We talked about how we engage families because we also know parents are entering into this with their set of beliefs as well. So we want to make sure we're honoring their voice. And so we will be soliciting parents for the task force, but then two, communicating out to parents that we are also leveraging AI in this source.
Great, thank you. Mr. Juarez?
Just one quick question. Did you at any point use AI in drafting or editing?
I wasn't going to ask that.
Absolutely. Dr. Joyner said it during TNL. He said, you probably use AI. Yes, we did. We absolutely leveraged AI, dropped some documents in, and we wanted to make sure we were hitting all the major points that we needed to in order to have a policy that covered us on every end. And our IT department at the end actually did another document review before a stamp of approval on the draft. And it was ran through AI as well.
Thank you. Ms. Daly, on this topic, on AI?
Let's talk
on. Okay.
Is there a model that the subcommittee approves that students and seniors can do?
So our IT department is working on that right now in collaboration with the city of New Haven, looking at different tools that we can leverage. But before we announce any tools, we need to have a policy in place. So that is why it was always our hope to have policy in place before we go back to school, and then our IT department is working on a few things.
Thank you. Dr. McCrone?
Yeah, finally. Superintendent update tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Brennan. For the president's report, I'm scheduling us to have our required superintendent evaluation for the 2024-2025 goals. And where's my note here? In the August 11th meeting, we will have an executive session to do the superintendent evaluation, and then we will continue it at each Board of Ed meeting until complete. And I will send out our standard superintendent evaluation rubric in advance to guide our thinking. Any discussion? Next, teaching.
President Yarmo, but yes, just a confirmation. That next meeting will be not at this stage. It will be at
King Raleigh. Yes, thank you. Our next Board of Ed meetings will be held at King Robinson, beginning with our August meeting. Thank you, Mr. Wilcox. Next, teaching and learning report and facilities naming report. Dr. Joyner.
I'm going to try to time myself. I'll give myself 4 minutes to do this. I think if we can do both comments for 3 or 4 minutes to be able to do it before. So I'm starting now. First of all, I was really fascinated when I read the article on Abdullah when he made the comment about warring classrooms. And I would say he's spot on in that. And that's one of the flaws in our teacher prep program. There's also a flaw in how college professors teach. Oftentimes, college professors get a great deal of attention and notoriety for being good lecturers. But lecturing is not teaching. It's giving out information. And when I taught the methods class at college level, I try to help my students understand that there were 3 things that should characterize effective teaching. One is that we should proceed with questions. And that in order to get the right answer, you have to ask that question. And so I urge them all to learn Socratic inquiry. We should also teach for mastery, whereas most of the programs in teacher prep based on the bell curve, which is really an inappropriate concept to use on people, and has been used across time to put certain groups of people at the bottom. And oftentimes they remain there. It's like their personal and group achievements. And that the best way to determine whether or not students have learned something through project learning. That is, a student should have to produce a project that integrates all of the skills and content that they learn in a particular classroom, and that we should teach for mastery. FW will write in that. But if you think some of your high school classes will want to wait till you go to college, one of the saving graces is that you'll be probably after your first 2 years involved in classes where you have a great deal of interest. And that's the other part of teaching and learning. The 3 most important factors related to effective teaching and learning is what I call in my classroom the great I am. Interest, attention, and memory. And these are scientific facts. That whatever a student is interested in, they will not only learn that in the classroom, but they will learn that outside of class. And attention is not sustained unless it's pointed toward an area of interest. You can test it out for yourself. And of course, once you have a great deal of interest, you pay attention, then it's stored in the various parts of your memory, procedural memory, episodic memory, and so on and so forth. I'm glad to share some of that with you. I'd also like to take this opportunity as you be a member. If I'm the chair of the teacher learning committee, I would like you to be a member of the committee because we need to see it for us. And I basically get a lot of my information from my grandchildren and my nieces and nephews about what's going on in the school. I'd like to take the last part, I only have 45 seconds left, to quickly tell you how pleased I have been with the leadership of the Teaching and Learning Committee. We have a group of content area leaders and a group of assistant superintendents. And I don't care what anybody says, you cannot have an effective education system unless you have the kind of logistics that the personnel department provides and the various departments provide, as well as the assistant superintendents. Our assistant superintendents have a workload that would be one of the largest school districts in the state. The average school district in Connecticut is less than 7 students. And our people have double-digit responsibilities. And no one should be questioning the organizational arrangements we've had to run an effective school system. So real quick, the committee had a rapid response, as you can see in the report that they gave you in such a short time notice. There's a level of thoroughness on the part of them. They are ethically responsible. They're evidence-driven. They're collaborative, as you saw, the work of the unions, and so on and so forth. The use of the democratic process, everybody's somebody in that meeting. They're action-oriented, and they recognize that policy evolves over time as we learn more about the content area for which we are creating policy. So the policy that exists now will have to be modified and changed, and they also accepted my model of top-down, bottom-up policy making. You have to start where the action occurs, rise up, create policy, and see how that policy aids or deters people that are faced with the actual action to do that work with. So you have to protect, you have to build a circle around the work. And policy has to be legally and morally defensible. And I don't know what you're writing dissertation on, Ms. Red Hands, but the work that you've done as a leader of this committee is really great fodder for a dissertation on action-oriented policy, real-world policy, and so on and so forth. And then one last thing on AI. AI has a lot of biases. It's generated on the work of other human beings. I asked it to summarize something I had published, and it got it wrong. It got some stuff right, but it got a lot of stuff wrong. And I've asked to do other things about other people I know that have published, and it got stuff wrong. It's almost like what we should call filibustering, when you don't really know the answer, you just keep talking around it. And because you said so much, well, just tell it over by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. But some people are impressed by that. I went over a little bit, I apologize for it, but that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Joyner. Any discussion?
Facilities, we don't have anything, but we got some feelings, but we might have to look at that policy as well. And it's not working as well as we'd like to see because of participation.
Thank you, Dr. Joyner. Next, Head Start report, Citywide School Building Committee report, Finance and Operations report, Mr. Wilcox.
All right, thank you very much. A couple things on the Head Start front. One thing to let you all know is that Head Start was informed that they're banning, they refer to as illegal aliens from accessing taxpayer-funded programs, including Head Start. We're going to be receiving guidance from the Office of Head Start, consultant that we worked with, Shine, group that we worked with to do various Head Start reports, etc. They anticipate litigation and interprets the Head Start Act to not impact currently enrolled students. So more to come on that as the federal government continues in their ways in this area. The other thing, just to let you know, one big change is the early Head Start Connecticut. So we now have the Head Start supplemental and the school readiness classrooms are being kind of pulled together by the state. They'll be directly funding the some of these classrooms. You might remember we were a pass-through for these in the past. We will not do that any longer. So we are now just applying for our own state funding for those programs. So that's going to be one of those changes that's coming up. And then the other thing I'll just state is that staff is working hard to fill our classroom and anticipate the classroom will be full again for the Head Start, 430 plus. And finally, we did the review and discuss the various things related to action, the plans that we discussed in previous meetings. We had updates on all that. So, and the minutes are as far as citywide, no report on that. We next meet on August 14th. And finally, finance operations, our next meeting. Thank you. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none. The governance report. I know it has the first reading of the AI policy draft.
That's essentially it. We met on the 24th and reviewed this AI policy. It's now in first reading.
Thank you. Ms. Waters, any discussion? For the food service task group, we will meet again next month. And right now, the collaborators are working on the break between when summer programming by the district ends and when the school begins its lunch program again. Any discussion? Next, I move to enter into executive session pursuant to Connecticut General Statute 1-2006B and 1-210B to discuss the implementation of the arbitration award for Local 3429. Is there a second? Thank you. Move this seconded. Who is coming in?
Dr. Yarborough, I ask that we bring this up, please up with us.
Thank you. And the attorney with us?
And attorney, Sierra McDonald with us, and attorney Alexia.
Thank you. We will vote. Dr. Joyner? Mr. Wilcox? Yes. Ms. Downer?
Yes.
Mr. Waters? Yes. Mr. Haley? Yes. Mayor Elicker?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. We're now in executive session.
So, how are you? We'll get this next stuff next time. What?
Huh? Yep, everything's open.
Thank you. We have returned from executive session. I move that the New Haven Board of Education implement the arbitration award to only retroactively compensate active employees who are members of Local 3429 and those employees who are retired on or before June 30th, 2025 and covered by the July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2027 agreement. Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. Matt Elicker? Yes. Mr. Wilcox? Yes. Dr. Joyner?
Yes.
Claudes? Yes. I'm a yes as well, and motion carries. Mr. Haley? Yes. Thank you very much. That motion carries. I'll set a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, I move to adjourn the meeting. I second that motion.
Thank you. So it moved and seconded. Dr. Joyner?
Yes.
Mr. Waters?
Yes.
Mr. Wilcox? Yes. Mr. Haley? Matt Elicker?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. We are adjourned. Thank you.